45 seconds, Mr. Nadler, please, Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me
I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
That stresses me out. I'm not going to lie.
So everybody, that was our Attorney General of the whole of America.
Offer meds
As she was speaking to the Oversight Committee on Capitol Hill. Same day as we were recording this podcast. As you can tell, she is seemingly not doing well. And against Swalwell, who, is auditioning.
He's not a lawyer, according to her.
Not a lawyer, but also, he's making his California governor audition.
Right.
But, all throughout the day, we've been watching clips of Pam Bondi, and it's not going good for her on Capitol Hill right now.
So what are they there for?
Yeah, they're there right now to talk about her role in the Epstein files. Obviously, it has been the talk of the political world for many, many weeks now since the latest drop. And now certain Congress people are being able to see the unredacted files. And I can tell you right now, it's crazy.
So one of the things at the hearing, she refused to directly answer questions from Democrats who've accused her of perpetuating a cover-up and ignoring victims. She refused to apologize for the fact that some of these victims were unredacted and their nude photos were released as well.
Pam Bondi, what a fucking cunt. And I just want to point out there's no doubt that she's going to hopefully lose her law license. There's no way she comes out of this looking good. I mean, I've given up on the thought of any of these pricks going to jail, but I feel very strongly about the fact that she has to lose her law license after all of this
I would
shit.
agree with that. I mean, at some point, we're seeing they keep losing, cases. They keep bringing cases before grand juries, before the Supreme Court. They're losing everywhere, circuit courts, all over the place, because there's no legal legs on any of this stuff to stand on. How can you continue to say you've been an effective attorney general after scandal after scandal after scandal?
In terms of just looking at her as the top cop of America, she's incompetent,
Yeah.
Incredibly incompetent. So yeah, if you're just looking at her KPIs, her key performance indicators, she's failed each and every one of them.
Well, we all know that Trump has said he wants to weaponize the Department of Justice, and she is going to bat for him every single
But she's not good at it.
Well, she's
terrible.
really bad at it. But if you listen to what they're playing, on the Hill with these recordings with her, all she's doing is just saying, oh, you can't badmouth the president, and he's doing the best job, and he's the best. It's like listening to a cult member.
Yeah.
It's really, really frightening. And she has that weird affect where I was like, she kind of sounds like she should be on Schitt's Creek because she's got this weird affect to her voice. So it makes it even stranger.
I love Schitt's Creek, just by the way. But hate does make you stupid, and she's a very, very prominent example of that.
Welcome, everybody, to the show. Welcome to Point of Disorder. I'm your host, Norris Howard. Who am I joined by this week?
Hi, it's Adrienne.
And I'm Julie.
That's right. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias. That's at Point of Disorder on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube. Also follow at The Guerrilla Politic and at Distill Social for even more content all about our crazy and crumbling political system. Now, the Epstein files, the Congress people who have now been able to see the unredacted files, they've only seen a little bit of them, but I can tell you I have seen multiple videos of folks walking out of those sessions, as pale as ghosts.
Yeah, they can't even see all of it because there's millions of pages, of these Epstein files. And they were actually able to see, like Ro Khanna, for example, able to see unredacted versions. And there were 6 high-powered global people who'd been redacted. And then Ro Khanna came out yesterday and was like, these were the people that were, redacted. One of them had sent an email to Epstein about how he really enjoyed a specific torture video that had been sent to him.
He'd sent the torture video
He was the
to
sender.
Epstein.
Right.
He was a sender.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, through these files, what we have discovered is that the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, is completely implicated in so much of this stuff. Now, he previously has been, on record saying, hey, I don't really know this guy. We only had a passing relationship, and when all this stuff about him came out, we didn't talk anymore.
He took his entire fucking family, including his kids and his nanny, to the island. But apparently it was just for lunch.
Yeah, apparently it was just for lunch. But meanwhile, in the email, he literally describes the ages of all of the children with him.
That's weird.
And let me tell you,
That's really weird.
I don't do that with people.
No.
I'm saying, yeah, man, I went on vacation with my family. That's pretty much how that ends. I don't go, yes, I'm with little Nancy, who's 13.
Oh, stop.
I'm with Stefan, who's 12. Like, I don't do, who does that? It's entirely creepy. And now, obviously, multiple members of Congress are calling for Lutnick to resign.
But I mean, here's the thing. What we do know at the moment is these people are just not being held to account. No. But I just want to go back for a minute. A GOP senator, Cynthia Lummis, did you see her come out after she actually went in and saw the unredacted files? She came out and she basically said, look, I didn't think this was a big deal. I thought it was a big nothing burger. But now I'm like, holy shit, this is bad.
She's a Republican too.
She's a Republican. But more than that, you have to be fucking dead inside to even before this. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've already seen a portion of the files before, the last week's drop. You have to be dead inside to be a woman. She sounds like a grandmother. I'm assuming she's a senator.
Woman, yeah.
So well, they're all. I think the average age of senators is
60.
like 970. So she must be. I'm assuming she's a grandmother. To just think at this point that there's nothing here, like no big deal. But then obviously there's a lot of shit in there. She came out and she was done. And even Lauren Boebert came out and said, this is
well,
bad.
She came out pretty forcefully too. I mean, there was, press outside of the Capitol building, and they said, do you think Ghislaine Maxwell should receive any clemency for this? She said, I think she needs more time, all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was shocking for literally one of the most unhinged people to ever sit in the halls of Congress to say something like that.
Yeah. So if it's that unhinged, if she's that unhinged, it is that unhinged that the files are that unhinged, and they're not even all out yet.
No,
that's not even all the files.
No.
And they're the New York Times and all these other journalists and outlets are still digging through them. They're still finding shit.
Something that's been going through my mind for since we sat here a week ago was, now we can't assume that everyone that's named in the files were actually involved in pedophilia,
yes,
right?
No, we have to be
understand that.
Clear and fair, yes.
But where are all the accounts of powerful people who perhaps isn't innocently enough rocked up to one of the parties, the many, many parties that he had, saw what was going on and were rightfully horrified by it, and then fled and reported on it, sent a report in, or basically reported back and said, what the fuck's going on here? Surely some of these people who, like we said, may not have been involved in the pedophilia or in the sex trafficking ring, but just witnessed it. Surely some of them, or many of them, have sisters, daughters, nieces. Like, why wouldn't you walk away? Looking at you, fucking Alan Dershowitz, who clearly, I think one of them I saw was a Jane Doe 3, said that she had Dershowitz would basically walk into the room while she was giving a blowjob to Epstein and speak to him. So he saw it. So this
would just
all
talk
came
to
out.
him like it's like
Yeah,
nothing.
can you sign this, mate? Like,
oh my God. Okay.
So this is a real problem to me, that we have so many people that, like I said, may not have been involved, but certainly bore witness to it.
Right. And
did
he was
fucking nothing.
He was convicted of this.
Correct.
He was
exactly.
he was a convicted pedophile, right? Like, if it's any other dude walking around, you got to put your name on a list. You got to list your house on a website, and
You probably can't
basically
even drive
report
a school
in.
bus.
Right. You're right. You're not supposed to be
you
around
definitely
children.
cannot.
You can't live. You can't live within a certain proximity to a school. But so he's convicted of this, and these people continued to keep him in the orbit. He continued to do deals with them. He continued to go to parties with them, get invitations. Like they continued to want to go to his island. There was no situation where they were like, "Oh, this is terrible. I'm not. You're toxic now." He kept on going, and that to me says that these are a mess of global elites who do not give a shit about the young girls and the women who were trafficked by him. So whether or not, to your point, Julie, they were involved, they were adjacent.
Yep.
They were giving permission, essentially, to what he was doing because they just didn't care.
I mean, listen, even in the streets, in just a regular rank and file normal people, right? There's a lot of stuff that people are not going to talk to the police about. There's a lot of stuff that people are not going to talk to the authorities about.
Snitches get stitches.
This is one thing.
Yes.
We snitching on.
Yes.
I'm telling.
People in prison who go to prison for pedophilia, there's like that code of conduct in prison, right?
I'm telling.
Like, you a child diddler, we're going to be stabbing you. You're getting shanked.
I'm telling.
That's happening.
So
It's ridiculous.
I've decided just to refer to rich, powerful people as basically Epstein class.
Yeah,
instead
they're the
of
Epstein
pedophiles.
class.
This is the Epstein class. I mean,
That's
I
right.
feel like that has enough. Like
It feels accurate.
It does feel accurate.
I like that because to the point, I mean, you're talking about a group of people who, at bare minimum, enabled the behavior.
Correct.
At bare minimum.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you were dealing with the guy before his case in the 2000s, what was it, 2008? That he
Yeah.
was indicted for child sex crimes. So you anybody dealing with Jeffrey Epstein post 2008 to me is at best an enabler.
Yep.
Right.
At worst, complicit.
Exactly.
So, you know, there are people who have existed and who are on lists everywhere who have lost relationships, lost marriages, lost their families,
Jobs.
lost all this stuff, jobs because they've participated in this stuff. And it just seems like none of these people have suffered any kind of consequence.
So I
Unless.
think, unless, of course, you live in another country.
Yes.
Oh, where people have the rule of law? What's that like?
Tell us about it, Julie.
God, I'm finding it fascinating. So having a look, I mean, I'm going to speak about Europe and the UK specifically here, but Keir Starmer, who's the Prime Minister of Britain, his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, resigned on the weekend. So much pressure with regards to the fact that he'd advise, he's one of, obviously, has been Keir Starmer's most valued advisor for quite some time, and he'd basically advised Starmer to hire Peter Mendelsohn, who was in the Epstein files, so he's been noted there in the first drop as well as this latest drop, and he was the UK ambassador to the United States, so Keir Starmer had him in that position. So basically, Starmer sacked Mendelsohn in September last year. So
Mendelsohn was not in the files.
Mandelson was.
He
Oh,
was.
he was. Okay.
Yes, Mandelson was in the files. He was the UK ambassador to the United States.
But McSweeney
Morgan
was not.
McSweeney was simply the chief of staff to Keir Starmer, who's the Prime Minister,
Dominoes.
who had actually advised Keir Starmer to
hire Mendelsohn.
Mendelsohn.
Right.
So Keir Starmer sacked Mendelsohn last September. So he'd already been sacked based on the fact, based on his proximity to Epstein, he was already sacked. But Morgan McSweeney, basically, there was so much pressure in the UK on Keir Starmer that Morgan McSweeney, his chief of staff, basically resigned on the weekend. And there is a good chance that Keir Starmer may not keep his job as Prime Minister either over all of this.
And they're not in the Epstein files.
It's like 3 steps.
It's heads rolling.
Correct. Heads
Exactly.
rolling.
It's because these are things that, you know, people had to look past. That's the argument, right?
Yeah.
The argument is that you guys had to look past what he had going on with Epstein in order to hire
Correct.
him. And the moment you learned, you sacked him or fired him, but you didn't tell you weren't completely transparent about why.
Exactly.
So that is something that I think is valid.
Yeah.
And there's more.
Yeah,
So
who else?
Joanna Rubinstein, who is a Swedish United Nations official, quit after the revelation that she was actually visited Epstein's Caribbean island back in 2012. So she basically quit at that point. Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland have all set up wide-ranging official investigation into the actual Epstein documents.
Good.
And that's on the basis that obviously they're all Eastern European countries where a lot of the girls allegedly came from, the victims came from. So there's a shit ton of stuff that's happening in Europe right now. People heads are rolling. We all know about obviously former Prince Andrew.
Yes.
Just Andrew now.
Just Andrew
Just
now.
Andrew.
Just Andrew
I
Windsor.
can't just say Andrew.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, just
Andrew Mountbatten. Yeah, so basically he and his ex have both obviously, been outed as well. So shit's happening left, right and centre outside of the United States. In the meantime, we're using it as a fucking reality TV show.
Yeah, and that was the thing I want to say because I can't remember if it was early in the morning we're recording this show, but Senator Toon stands up in front of the people and gets asked by a journalist like, hey, people across the world are being held responsible for their associations with Epstein, and why are we not seeing the same level of scrutiny of action in the United States? And his response was, well, the American people are gonna have to decide. No, that's what you're there for.
This is literally why I elected you people.
That's your job. Like, I'm tired of people saying that there are no mechanisms in Congress. People think that let me just say this, America, impeachment is not just for presidents. You can remove anybody in the cabinet. You can impeach anyone in the cabinet for their associations or for misconduct, and they can be removed from office. So there's absolutely a way to do it. It's just that there is no political will to do so.
That was going to be my next question to you all. Like, here in the United States, what can we do as the voters and as the citizens of this country to essentially punish the people in the files, the Bill Gates, the Elon Musks, Peter Thiel? They've amassed so much power. What do we do to collectively punish them?
I don't have the answers. I mean,
ostracize.
I'm all for conspicuous consumption, so I'm all for divest where you can. That's just a personal thing. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I should just where I can divest my money from, I try to, and I try to spend my money. With brands that I align with. But I understand that that's very difficult for a lot of people. I think that's a very low barrier of entry. I think voting's a low barrier of entry, but that's also how we got here too. Not enough people did that.
I have fairly strong feelings about this. I think I mentioned it a couple of months ago on the podcast. Could not understand in any world by which even the last administration, the Biden administration, that the Department of Justice had all of these files, had all of this information. I think the way that it's being dropped, I understand why it's happening because people feel like something has to fucking happen. But there needs to be a full investigation, like a non-partisan fucking investigation where all of these people that have been mentioned in these files literally have to sit in front of somebody and basically under oath.
Open hearings.
And I don't know what that looks like here. We have different processes in Australia as to how that happens, but it happens regularly where there are basically a full-on non-partisan investigation where people are held to account.
I think we're going to have to wait for that for a couple years.
It's
given Pam Bondi.
But that's the only way that these people are going to be held to account.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a look, it's like they have so much fucking power that it's going to take someone with balls much bigger than the people that we have leading this country at the moment to basically, do a fulsome investigation and a full inquiry into what's happened.
Speaking of investigations, the House Republicans and also Congressman Randy Fine. Now we're gonna throw up a photo of Randy Fine just so you can understand who we're talking about.
Gross.
But Randy Fine and the House Republicans have decided, you know what? We're not going to waste our time with this Epstein mess. We're going to investigate Bad Bunny because he dared to go on TV and speak Spanish.
First of all, I'd like to just question, I've never seen a man with a gun Randy Fine has a
So-
gun.
You have to tell everyone what that means because that's not a common word in our
Oh,
vernacular.
it will be now.
A gunt.
It's where the gut meets the cunt. Like there's no difference. There's no discerning difference between
Oh,
those
it's like a
two.
male fupa.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
Yeah.
and you're welcome, people. You
Yeah.
can use that too.
So
that's hurting my
apparently,
brain.
apparently, finding a number of Republicans in the House are begging the FCC to launch a formal investigation into Bad Bunny for his illegal lyrics and lewd behavior,
Grotesque behavior.
Yeah, lewd and grotesque behavior on television. Again, these are not the words of people who have sex regularly. So
Or there might be something going on too. Like, not to just plan it out there, but like, I'm not going to yuck Randy Fine's yums, but he's probably got something going on. Some kind of kink that he's got to go. Someone's going to discover something about this guy in the next couple
man,
years.
listen, if he does, he paying for it. Let me put it that way.
Right.
It ain't he ain't winning that on the strength, okay? Let me say that.
Sex work is work.
That's true.
For a reason.
That's true. I'm just saying this is what the Republicans want to spend your tax dollars on. And y'all know I don't normally come on here and say partisan stuff, but this is dumb as hell.
No,
this
it
is a waste of
so
time.
dumb.
I really enjoyed the performance in the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny was fantastic. I didn't understand a fucking thing because I took French in high school, but it was like I understood the general message and the visuals, and it was the dancers were fantastic, the sets were fantastic, each scene was fantastic. It was great.
Why would you not want to look on TV and see hordes of very attractive people?
I know.
Twerking. I mean, fantastic.
Yes.
Like, why,
Serious.
Men and
who
women.
wouldn't want to watch that? And
Right.
instead, y'all want to watch Kid Rock and his fucking jorts
Okay.
Right?
dance around.
We don't
and
need to
not-
even
anyway.
So can I-
and lip sync.
Yeah, I don't even.
I really didn't know Kid Rock until I moved here. But
I'm
what
sorry.
I would just like to point out he should be investigated for a crime against fashion. Those jorts, that was just like absolutely. And that lip syncing and
Someone needs to take away all his Detroit gear because, like, he's
never-
not from Detroit. He's
No.
from fucking Rochester. He grew up very affluent.
Yeah.
And
oh really?
We
Yeah.
never claimed him like
we
that.
don't claim
We
him.
never claimed him
No.
like that. Anyway,
He's-
there's only one man on the face of the planet that could wear jorts with strength, and that's Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay? And that's it. But anyway, bringing things back home locally, speaking of the city of Detroit,
Yes.
our fine president decided that he was going to once again muck up all of international trade and threatened to close the yet-to-be-opened Gordy How Bridge. Now, Adrienne, you have the full statement that Trump
this is
put out.
completely unhinged and manic, and it's too long for me to read out loud. So this is what Trump put out the other day on his Truth Social. As everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades. Now things are turning around for the USA, and fast! Exclamation point. But imagine Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own both the Canada and the United States side, of course, built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. Blah, blah, blah. He says a bunch of other crazy fucking shit. Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. Okay, the NHL is based here in the United States.
It's in New York.
Yeah. The tariffs Canada charges us for our dairy products have for many years been unacceptable, putting our farmers at great financial risk. Blah, 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 blah. I will not allow this bridge to open till the U.S. is fully compensated for everything we've given them.
Please thank you for your attention in this matter.
Whatever. He went on. He went on and he went on. So for those of you out there who aren't familiar with our fair city of Detroit, we have the Ambassador Bridge here.
Yes.
We also have a tunnel.
Yes.
There's also another bridge in Port Huron called the Blue Water Bridge. These are like huge areas where commerce happens back and forth between the United States and Canada.
25% of all trade in North America goes between those 3 thoroughfares.
And if you've ever driven through any of those, I know I was shocked when I moved here as to how long it takes. Like there's so many trucks coming across.
Oh, it takes forever. And you know, there's tolls and everything. Now, you would think that the Ambassador Bridge would be owned by the United States and Canada. It is not. It is privately owned by a family called the Maroons.
Yep.
They also used to own the train station here. They let it rot for years. They're terrible. They're terrible people, the Maroons. Everybody fucking hates them in Detroit. And they're pissy because once the Gordy How Bridge opens, which is ready, it's completed, it's ready to open, they're going to lose out on those tolls that they exact from that commerce that goes back and forth.
So about $60 million in tolls that they get a year.
Yeah, they get $60 million and they're going to be pissed. But this is one of the busiest ports in the country and it's backed up all the time. And that's why we needed another bridge. Anyway, Trump weighing in isn't just by magic luck either.
No, and it's not because it has come out, by the way, that the Maroons met with Howard Lutnick, Secretary of the Treasury.
I see a pattern here.
Just a few days before the statement was made. And also, of course, the Maroons are well-known donors to both the Republican Party and the Trump campaign to the toll of, millions of dollars. And they called in a favor. I mean, we gotta just start calling this what it is.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to parse language here. The Maroons called in a favor.
It's cribery.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have so much fucking cribery going on. It's pay to play.
They've been pushing
They
back
pay to
against
play.
this bridge for years. They have been fighting it tooth and nail. Trump, during his campaign in 2024, though, went out and was like, "This bridge is amazing.
Well,
this is going to be so
bridge.
great."
It's actually a beautiful bridge.
They started building it in his first administration.
Right, exactly.
He had to continue to greenlight this stuff.
They uprooted a lot of people to build this bridge.
Well, the
as
Maroons made 2 actual ghettos in order to stop the building of this bridge. They financed 2 neighborhoods that were at the American side of the bridge, bought up a whole bunch of land, forced people to move in and did nothing with the land. So basically ghettoized it. Then, of course, financed ballot initiatives so that people would vote against the second bridge. They lost. And so here we are, is the fact that this was the last lever they could pull, which is just getting the president to just nope the whole situation, which I think still probably will not happen. I think obviously the auto industry will have something to say about this.
Yeah.
And they will get involved. But it's the fact that to the toll of, maybe $3 to $4 million, you get the ear of the leader of the free world.
Right. Which is fucked up.
Yep.
You know what else is fucked up? Like the Ambassador Bridge, there is one on-ramp to it. If you're driving, what is it, from 75? If you're
on 75.
If you're on 75 and you get off this one particular ramp, you end up getting on you can't leave. You get to Canada.
I am very familiar with that because it's happened to me and I'm like, shit, I don't have my paperwork.
This happened to me. I was actually supposed to go on a date. This was several years ago, where a guy was late because his Uber driver got on the ramp. They couldn't turn around.
Yeah, you can't turn around.
There's no way to turn around.
No,
you end up at the border.
Because the Maroons gonna make you pay
They're
that
gonna
toll.
make you pay
twice.
the toll, and if you don't have your license, your license with the star on it, right, you're fucked.
Your passport.
And your passport.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Now, mind you, a bunch of Michigan's, GOP came out in support of this, which again, slicing off our nose to spite our face, because this economically does not help Michigan whatsoever.
No.
So support from Mike Rogers, who's a candidate for Senate from the GOP, supported this.
But he lives in Florida, so he's probably never been on
I was going to say,
the bridge.
he's probably never seen the bloody
He's probably
bridge.
never even seen it. Then, of course, we have our old friend John James, who came out and supported this as well. And I'm going to just shift gears to talk about John James for a second. All right, I got something to say about John James, and it's very personal. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to look dead in the camera
Just
when I
remind
say
everyone
this.
who John James is.
John James, right, Congressman John James, his district is mostly in Macomb County. He is also they say he's running for governor, but I ain't seen or heard nothing about it.
Nobody's seen anything from him.
Right? I'm going to say this, okay? Because John James also came out and said, I know Donald Trump, and he's not racist. He says this right after on Truth Social, Trump posts one of the most racist videos we've ever seen an elected official ever post ever anywhere. The one depicting Barack and Michelle Obama as actual apes. Now, John James says, nope, not racist.
And John James is a black man.
He is black.
And we are in Black
Allegedly.
History Month.
He is allegedly black.
We're in Black History
He's
Month.
allegedly black.
He's
Are you going
allegedly
to pull his
black.
black card?
It's been gone, but I'm just saying he's allegedly black. But the point is, the point is this, right? Is just about every other black person in Congress, including those on the right, came out in against this when this video was posted.
Well, it was appalling. It was
Yeah.
offensive. It was like all over social media at the time. And at first, I'll tell you, when it first came out, I saw someone I know posted it, and I sent a photo of it to Gina and said, is this real? Like, this can't be fucking real.
Yeah.
And she came back and said, nah, it can't be. No, it can't be. And of course,
was
an
real.
hour later, it was fucking real.
Yeah,
it was
I
real.
mean, when you can get like Trump acolytes, well-known Trump acolytes, like Tim Scott, to be like, dude, that better be a mistake.
Right.
Like that, like, come on, people. Like,
I did
this
not
is,
see it.
This is elite, like, adult film star level dick riding. Like, I have never seen a man dick ride the president so hard. Because that's what this is. Like, dude, at bare minimum, in the middle of Black History Month, you might have been able to get one or two of us back on your side if you were strong on this. If you just said, like, hey, we not doing that one, Mr. President. We're not. But instead, I know him personally. He's not a racist. Dude, he don't know you from a hole in the wall. Shut up.
You're going to be done after this year's election anyway when you lose the governorship and you didn't run for Congress. And we can't wait to never hear from you ever again.
You know that's not going to happen.
No,
he
we don't hear from
loses.
him.
He's like, losing is his specialty. Like,
Yeah.
he is an expert loser. But he just keeps fucking coming back for some reason. Who knows? But he could have just said nothing.
And been better off.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There
Just-
aren't too many things that you can just go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to ignore this and pretend it didn't happen.
He's not a racist, even though he just posted the most racist photo in history.
It's just he didn't even parse. He didn't even say, I don't think he's racist, but what he did was racist. Like, you could have there's so much language that could have been used here to his advantage that he just did not use. And I'm going to just say, as a black person, dog, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna never have us. You ain't gonna never have us. I'm sorry. Like, go use. Good luck. Good luck in Macomb County, dog.
Yeah.
And he's running statewide now, which is very different. Macomb County, that shit can probably ride there. No offense to people in Macomb County, but it's a pretty,
People who voted for him there are like, oh, I'm not racist. See, I
No.
voted for a black guy for
It's
Congress.
no diss on Macomb County. It's just the demographics are what
Different,
they are
yeah.
in Macomb
But when
County.
you're running statewide in Michigan, 80% of Detroit is fucking black. We
Yeah.
know that. It's a very different
I mean,
demographic
and let's
that he's
just
dealing
not
with.
talk about the legions of, I don't know, not racist people who would not allow or not go for somebody to post something like that. It's silly. But I do want to share a bit of good news.
Okay,
We're going to
please.
stay in Michigan.
All right.
You remember when that fine gentleman at the Ford plant called Trump a pedophile protector? And the UAW came out very strongly and said, we are behind our guy. That is his free speech right. He can say what he wants, and you cannot get rid of him for it. Well, it has come out that he will not be losing his job.
He was put, though, I think we do
He
have
was
to
put on
point-
leave.
He was put on leave without pay.
Yep.
So let's just point out that fucking Ford did themselves no favors whatsoever. They acted very quickly to put him on leave without pay.
Yeah.
And I think they raised, there was a GoFundMe
GoFundMe.
page.
Yeah, he got like
that
$500,000
raised-
from the GoFundMe.
That's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. But now he's got his job back.
See, you know how much I would be stunting? Like, I would go back into the office like half a million up, y'all.
People are like, I've got a sick grandma and she's got medical bills. Can you help? You got to be careful with that shit.
No, I mean, listen, we all know. Everybody knows. I mean, it was one of the biggest stories in the country.
Yeah.
But I just think, I wanted to bring this up to say this is what unions are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? Your ability to be protected, to have your constitutional rights protected. So your employer cannot just fire you for, I don't know, saying the truth.
Right.
And here we are. So good on the UAW for this one, and good on that man for speaking his mind.
Can you imagine how popular he will be now as well? Like, just in terms of in his personal life.
Maybe, I don't know. The line is weird if you go to some of these plants. Some of these plants are,
not
you
the
know.
plants. I mean, in his
just
social
life?
life.
Yeah.
In his life.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
God knows what's
People
happening
buying
in those
him
plants.
drinks
Don't
at the
worry.
bar.
Yeah, like I mean,
Actually,
mate,
that probably happens quite a bit.
I would buy him whatever drinks he likes.
Yeah,
Double
you know.
down. Just,
Lap dances at the flight club.
I think I read he's a married man, so I
I'm
hope
sure
he
he's
ain't at
a
the
married man. That's fine.
I hope he's not at the
You
flight
know,
club.
you know where those UAW halls are, though.
I know. I
They
do
got
know.
a lot of very well placed strip clubs nearby.
Don't get caught up, dog. Don't let the new money get you caught up, man. I don't want to see that for
Did
you.
that $500,000 come in dollar bills?
Yeah, I don't want to see this for you. How many people do we know hit the lottery and then flame out? Next
I
thing you know, they
know.
back in the poorhouse. I don't want that.
No.
But
Invest.
with that said, guys, there's some pretty important bills happening that are going to be getting voted on this week. Obviously, the first being the DHS funding bill. We're hearing that maybe Friday is going to be a vote on that. If DHS and ICE is going to continue getting all the gobs of money.
Well, what I will say about that is DHS and ICE was given a big giant bucket of money last summer. So they got money.
Yeah.
So they're not really
That
going to
money's
shut
not
down.
going away.
That money's not going away. So they're not really going to shut down. So the partial shutdown, if they do decide to not fund DHS until something is an agreement is come to, they're going to shut down like funding for TSA.
Yes.
They're going to shut down funding for disaster work, like that kind of thing. So ICE is going to continue as it has been. They're just trying to hold the rest of DHS hostage in order to get what we need
And
to hold ICE accountable.
And our fine Senator, Gary Peters, I believe, is one of the only Democrats, so not too many apparently, involved in the negotiations of this.
Gare Bear.
That is correct. So
I'm a bit nervous about the negotiations. Like, what is it going to be? Like, they can't wear masks. I mean, I
They
don't
want
know.
cameras. They want body cameras on them. They can't wear masks. What else?
I think the not wearing mask is a really big deal.
Well, it's a big
The
deal.
body cams is whatever. We already got them.
Badge
we
numbers
already
and
got them on
names.
camera doing everything.
Identification.
The identification and the
Yeah.
not wearing masks.
And
thing.
also, isn't it about the warrants as well? Is that included?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I always get nervous when they say they're negotiating. That means we're going to get fucking less than what we actually want.
It's typically
and
what it
need.
means. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I
So-
think we all need to keep an eye on Gary Peters, to be quite honest. Like, Gary Peters is not running again.
Yep.
He can he could really step up here and say, no, this is how it's going to be.
Or he could be the sacrificial lamb that the Democrats always use to do the negotiation,
Right.
which means that, he's not going to be running again, so we
Right.
can just base like
Right.
they did with the 7 folks that voted for the spending bill for DHS originally.
Yeah. So he could
Watch
be
this space.
Yeah, watch
running
this very
We're
closely.
watching Gary.
running interference. We're watching. We're
So
watching you.
We should tell everybody, give his office a fucking call. He needs
Absolutely.
to know at this point that that we're watching.
We're keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
And lastly, as of recording, they have not voted on this yet, but by the time you hear this, it may be possible. But there is a vote that's supposed to be happening on the SAVE Act. Now, I know this is very near and dear to a lot of our listeners, the SAVE Act. Now, Adrienne, can you break down the SAVE Act for the people?
So the SAVE Act is something that's going through. It's basically a voter ID act.
Yeah.
Essentially, what my understanding is that your current ID, your name needs to match your birth certificate.
Right.
Which would essentially disenfranchise a lot of women who have married and taken their husband's names. So unless you have all that paperwork to show that this is now my legal name, which a lot of us aren't carrying around, you're not going to be able to vote.
Birth certificate, passport.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
And it's if you are a woman and you're listening to this and you have changed your name, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare to change your name.
And it's expensive as well.
It's a poll
All of
tax.
this- Ding, ding, ding.
It's a poll
exactly,
tax.
Norris. It's a poll tax. Any form of ID required to vote is basically a poll
It's
tax.
a poll tax,
regardless.
you know,
for
flat
young
out.
people, for old people, everyone in between.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where if you are unfamiliar with a poll tax, it basically just means you got to pay to vote.
Yeah.
So if you're a woman who's changed your name, now you got to go spend hundreds of dollars to go and reprint those documents or change your name back or do whatever you need to do. Either way, costs a lot of money. If you don't have a passport, now you got to pay $120 and wait 6 weeks to get it. So long story short, if the SAVE Act were to pass, it just creates barriers to voting, which should be one of the easiest things in a democratic society to do.
And can I just for a moment question, I believe there are some Democrats that are all okay with the SAVE Act.
Fetterman.
Yeah.
Fetterman. And he went on record and he said, this is not a Jim Crow type act or something like that.
I mean, it is, though.
It is. I mean, it is at the end of the day. There's another bill, too, that I think people need to be aware of that's called the Make Elections Great Again Act.
Sorry, the name itself.
Right.
Make elections great again.
The MEGA Act. It's also requiring documentation of citizenship to register to vote along with your photo ID provisions. But there's an array of other things like banning universal voting by mail.
Yeah.
So they're doing their absolute best to try and take people from being able to vote to not being able to vote because they just can't win on their own policy and merit.
Which, by the way, I mean, Trump got massive votes by mail. So
Right.
I mean, again, cutting your nose off to spite your face. Either way, we bring these things up to say, everybody, please pay attention to these things. Call your representatives, call your senators, let it be known that you don't support these kinds of things because anything that makes it harder for you to express your democratic voice is unconstitutional, period.
And can I just add, they're looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't fucking exist. We already know that in terms of fraudulent voting, it's minuscule in the United States. So
Unless you're a Republican in North Carolina.
true. But just remember that when your MAGA friends say to you, but you just simply ID, just simply take your ID. That's easy to say when you are not a young person who doesn't have access to ID and when you're not an old person who hasn't driven for fucking 20
And
years.
listen,
So
if you
stop.
sign an affidavit saying you are who you are and they run the tabulations, they find out if your vote counts or not.
Correct.
That day. That's who the people, all those people you see at the polling place when they count the votes. That's what they're doing. They're not just going 1, 2, 3. No, they're verifying if these votes are legitimate. That's why these cases fail nationwide because they've already done this 2 and 3 and 4 times.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
with that said, I want to ask you guys before we leave.
I'm tired.
How are you holding on? What's got you holding on to sanity?
I don't even know. Like, I'm so tired. I woke up this morning. First of all, it's freezing in here because we're freezing our butts off. And I'm tired. And I woke up this morning. I was having dreams about being in Portland, but it wasn't Portland. And then, like, the government was bombing Portland. Yeah, it was
That's
terrible.
dark.
Very dark. What is keeping me going? I don't know.
I can tell you what's keeping me
Tell
going.
me what's keeping you going, and then maybe I'll have an
The
answer
Pistons
for you.
fighting people.
Oh, yes, the Pistons
So good,
brawl.
Norris. So good. Number one, we're winning. It's so good. The bad
incredible.
boys are back. I love it. I just love it.
Like I got in the face. Like,
It's great. Because listen, the Pistons are fighting people. Justin Verlander's back with the Tigers.
right.
We're arguing about the bridge again. It's 2006.
yes,
Like legitimately. But for real,
we're
like
pre-bankruptcy.
just I thought about it and I watched the Pistons fight the Hornets and then I had a dream about people fighting in Congress, like fist fighting. And
like
I thought,
the UK.
how wonderful would that be? What if just 2 senators got an issue with each other and they say, all right, dog, let's just handle it.
You're talking about Parliament now. That's
Yeah,
more like
let's
Parliament.
just
They used to have duels. I mean, they used to have legal duels.
Yeah, they
that
should just throw hands.
They throw hands. I like this idea.
We need a
Absolutely.
bit more of that.
Yeah.
For me, it's just music. Like I said, I'm getting on the treadmill every morning. I'm listening to my dad's favorite music, and I'm just that's how I'm. And it has. I will tell you, listening to music is starting to bring me more joy.
Oh, good.
So much, and I'm loving it.
Well, I told you I was listening to like the Hunger Games soundtrack.
Yeah, you should probably not do
You
that.
need to work on your music
Okay.
selection.
I have one because we've been talking about how we're trying not to watch as much true crime because it's so disturbing and we need something else. So last week I watched Queer Eye.
Oh, that's
and
a
I
good
caught up on Queer Eye, and I haven't watched that since like college when it was Queer Eye for the straight guy.
Yeah.
Now it's just Queer Eye for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
So there you go.
I enjoyed the
Anyway.
gentleman on Queer Eye.
Yeah, we would love to hear from y'all. Tell us what are you doing to keep yourself sane in these trying times. But I'm your host, Norris Howard, and for Adrienne and Julie, you've been listening to Point of Disorder. You can follow us on all of our social medias. That's Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. You can also follow at The Gorilla Politic, and you can also follow us at Distill Social.
See you next Thursday.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Point of Disorder. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to everyone who listened today. And if you like us, give us a like, a subscribe, or a review on any place you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Distill Social and at The Gorilla Politic. This is the Point of Disorder podcast, signing off. Stay sharp, stay progressive, and above all, stay tuned.